Today is going to be all about shipbuilding in StarField. We are going to go through everything you need to know if you just want to make slight modifications or if you want to do a complete rebuild. And the plan today is to take this honking piece of junk in front of me, strip it down to absolutely nothing, and then build a small fighter out of it or something like that. Regardless of whether you just want to make minor changes to your ship or whether you want to build one from scratch, you're gonna have to need a base ship. You can't just start on the blank canvas, you have to have a base ship. So if you want to build a new ship, you have to go out and board one, capture it, and then we basically just scrap everything and then start building from there. You're gonna have to find yourself a shipyard. You have them in all the major landing zones. You'll also find dedicated ones scattered around in other locations, and each of them may have different types of modules available, so it's not just go one place, you have access to everything. You might have to fly around and see what the different places has to offer. And a quick tip, if you're looking for a specific module or don't know where you get the best modules, then you can go to inara.cz. For you elite dangerous guys, you will know exactly what this is. If you head into the StarField section under database, you will see ship modules. This takes you to this site, so if you're looking for, let's say, a reactor for your ship, we can go on reactors. Let's say we want a C-class reactor, and we just want something that can spit out as much power as we can. We can see we have some here that can spit out up to 40 power. And if, let's say, we want to have that reactor, we can click in on it, and then we can see where to get this specific reactor. Let's go and talk to the ship service technician, and we want to say to him that we would like to modify our ship. We select the ship we want to modify. We have this Varun ship, that's the one we want to modify. This one is captured, so I'm gonna have to go and register it. So we're gonna go and do that first. There we go. And now, if you just go upgrade, then you can basically say, let's say you want to upgrade your reactor at another port. You don't have to go in and completely disassemble the entire ship if the reactor is at the center of your ship. You just go in here. I mean, you can't do the reactor actually, but you should be able to do stuff like engines, shield, grav drives. And then down here, you'll be able to see the different types of grav drives that's available. And then you can click on the grav drive here, and it will then show you if there were other grav drives that would fit the ship. It will show that it was available in here. It's probably better if we just go look at weapons instead. Let's say we want to upgrade our weapons. We can click our weapons, and then we can see the old weapons. And you can see as I scroll through them here, all those weapon hardpoints automatically get updated. So if you're just looking to upgrade any of those equipment slots, we can do that in there. We want to dive a little deeper. We're going to go into the ship builder. Now, scroll in is at least for me on PC, you zoom in and out. Right-clicking and dragging, you can turn the ship around. Very straightforward. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to begin to disassemble. We can just click a module here, and we can click delete, and that module gets deleted. Okay, I deleted the entire ship, so we are starting from scratch. Absolutely from scratch. We can see here we have 8 errors right now. If we click on flight check here, we get a list of everything that's missing and that's not working. We need to solve all these problems before our ship is ready to fly. So first, we need to add a cockpit. So we can click on add here, and then we can find ourselves. Actually, you know what? Let's start with what's called a bay. The bay is basically our entry point into the ship. These two look about the same size. That one might be slightly smaller. Which one is lighter? That one is lighter. So let's just put that one down there as our entry point. Now, as you hover over it, you will see we'll have different points. You have these round markers, and you have these square markers. The round markers is everywhere where we can attach a module. And the square module is where you can transition from one module to another. So if we wanted to add a compartment here on top, for instance, I could just click out here. I could go and I could say, let's go for, where is it? There we go, HABs. There are different types of HABs. You can see here, this one is called all-in-one. This has no workbenches, but it gives you 2 additional crew members on board your ship. You have a armory, which just has display cases and armor racks and stuff like that for displaying your equipment. You have the captain's quarters, which gives you a navigation console and a bed. Might be quite important to get that in for that sleeping and XP bonuses. Then you have computer cores, does nothing really. It's just like for fluff, it adds a computer room with non-functioning computers. And it's pretty much the same story with the control station. Infirmary adds a pharmaceutical and a research lab, a pharmaceutical lab and a research lab to it. The living quarters gives you also 2 additional crew members. The science lab gives you, let me check, pharmaceutical lab and research lab, and then finally the workshop, which gives you industrial workbench, spacesuit, and weapon workbenches. So let's see if we can't find a cockpit. Now you can see here it's like clipping inside, and it's hard to visualize how it's going to look. So if we just go out here, you can use, I'm not sure what the keys are for console, but you can jump up and down between the layers. You can see what layer I'm at out here. And you can move up and down the layers. So if I go up here and I click add, now they spawn up here, up higher. But I can actually do even better. I could also just hover over a port. Let me move down here again. If I hover over this port here, when I click add, and now it says attached to the add. So if I click attached here, and then go to cockpits. Okay, so it has no cockpits that will attach where I enter from the bottom. So I need to have some kind of small compartment here, that one there. And then I should be able to click this one here. And now click add, which for me is G. And now you can see we can go and we can look at the different cockpits and see if we can find one that will fit. We need something that's just small and compact. So that one looks like a good option. We're gonna put that one in there. Okay, very good. Now we can go check our flight list here. We can see we're missing a docker, we're missing engines, grav drives. Let's put in some reactors and some grav drives next. So I could say, let's say I want my reactor right here behind my my landing base. So I'm gonna hover, click attached, and then we're gonna go and find reactors, and we're gonna find a reactor that will just be one store tall. Let's see what we can find. Notice we get all the stats for the modules out here on the left. The classes is, for me, it is a little counterintuitive. A is the worst, B is better, and C is the best. But as you can see, as we go down to C class, they also become, well, physically larger, which might be a problem if we're trying to build a compact ship. So we're going to see what we can find here in B that provides as much power as possible. We had done a 39, was pretty good. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So we're going to take that one. 39 power, B class, single story tall. That one there. Click, put that in. Now we can just repeat this process for grav drives. There's one I like. Let's put that in there. And we can go back. We see we already solved a lot of our problems here. We can go back and check our list. We're still missing the docker, engines, and landing gear. Let's go and work on that then. Now, the docker is a little special. If we just jump up here on the top here, and we go and add a docker. Now, you can see we have different types of docking bays. You would either have them inline, or you could just have one that attaches on the outside. If we go and attach this one up, I'll just select one up here. Some of the modules you're going to be able to flip, and they're going to have 2 rotations. For me here, it is set, and it will flip around. Now, the docker is special because you have to have the docker either at the top or at the bottom of your ship. Or in some cases, the front, if you have stuff that can attach to the front, that you can get. But in this case here, I only have one that can attach to the top or the bottom. It has to be at the very top or the very bottom. You can't put it in and then build stuff around it or build stuff higher, because then you're going to clip into the ship you're going to dock with. It needs to be at either the highest or the lowest point. So we can just see here, would I have room? If I flip this around, we don't really have any points underneath the ship right now where we're going to be able to attach anything. So for me, I'm just going to attach it right here. You can see I used the R key, so I'm at a way too high floor. So now I need to move down. For me, it's on F until I'm at the right floor. Then it will click in, and we can attach the docking port right there. Now for shields, they don't really take up much space. They usually sit at the top or the side of the ship, but again, they can be flipped around. So we're just going to find a nice, strong shield. Move that in place there. Very nice. We're going to need some fuel as well, so let's go and find, there we go, fuel tanks. We are still missing engines. We have no engines. We have no landing gear. Oh, ship reactor class. Right, so that's a problem. So the reactor we added, you can see here, we added a B-class reactor. But I just added a C-class shield. We can't do that. You can't go higher than your reactor class. So because we are B-class reactors, we are now forced to go and add, let's just go add it, attach it right there. Go back to shields. We are now forced to use no more than a B-class shield. So let's see what the strongest we can find. That will probably be that one there. attach that there. So we have to do that. If we want to use bigger shields, we have to have bigger reactors. So now that error should be gone, as we can also see it is. So we just need engines, landing gear. We have 2 mounting points here at the back. That would be great for engines. So let's go and attach something here. Just as with the other one, we can only use up to B. We want to find something that is small and compact, which these are not. Size to performance-wise, these white dwarf engines are actually some of the best that I can find. So I'm just going to put 2 in there, put another one underneath there. So we have that, and that means we're now down to just 1 error left. Now, when we attach that landing gear, we actually created more errors for ourselves. First of all, the first thing it says is that the minimum landing gear count is too low, simply because the landing gear that we put in here is not powerful enough to lift the ship. So we need more landing gear that's dependent on the ship weight. And the other problem we created for ourselves is, you can see how it goes down and have an attachment point that is lower than that one there. So that doesn't work. So I think we're gonna have to move these, maybe move these forward a bit, and then take this and then move that up so that these are aligned the same height. And then we can also go and attach a similar one there. That is better. Look at that. Pretty little ship. Okay, we still have an error, but we still have problems with our landing gear count. So we're going to need to find a way to attach more landing gear here. And this is going to be a problem as we are fresh out of attachment points. So now we need to begin to be a little bit more creative. Then I'm going to try to delete an engine there. And then at this point here, we can jump into structural, where we have, well, you guessed it, structural parts. And see if we can find something with side. I think there is, what am I looking for here? That one, the Nova Bracer, I kind of like that. It's like an open frame. Then we can move these landing gear backwards, like so. Move those back, and then we can add additional landing gear up here. Okay, once we've done that, we can now see that we have a functioning ship. We're only down to warnings now. So right now it says there's no weapon assignments. So now let's talk about how weapon assignment works. Let's say I want to add some weapons, one of these hard points down here. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to look at our weapons. Okay, so each ship can have 3 different types of weapons on them. And there are more different types than that, but you can only have 3 different types on your ship assigned. So let's say that I, for instance, put a cannon in here on that side, and then I over here on the other side go ahead and I put in a laser of some sort. So now I have my cannon over here, I have my laser over here. If I click on C, we can see here that we now created a new error for ourselves. Say the ship has weapons that must be assigned to a group. So we go in here to weapons. We have weapon group 1, 0, 1, and 2. I like that the 0 indexed it. In here, we then choose what weapon we want. Let's say 1 should be the cannon, and let's say 2 should be the laser. There we go. So now we've assigned those to weapon group 1 or 2. Now, when it comes to picking weapons, it's a little bit more complicated than just picking the ones that are doing the most damage. Because as you can see here over on the side, they also have a max power. So if we look at these 2 weapons here, they both have max power 4, but you see, you can find something that has lower max power. So this one here only has max power 3. So if we put in, oh, here we go. There's something that has 3. Let's put in. We have different sizes cannons here. You can see. Let's put in a size 3 cannon, and let's put one in over here. Another cannon that has size 4, like so. Now, when we go and make our weapon assignment here, so we have the small cannon in 1. Notice here how it says 1, 2, 3. That means that it has 3 pips that's been assigned here, whereas the other one here, if we assign the big one to the other group, you can see here how it has 4 assigned. So it's not just a matter, again, as I said, of picking the highest damage weapon. You also need to see how much power it is, as lower power, how much power they consume also depends on how much damage you can put out. Now, let's just say that I'm gonna put in some of these cannons as we've seen before here. Another cannon there. It still complains, says, oh, you only have 1 weapon group assigned, you should fit more weapons. I'm not gonna do that. I am just going to say accept. I would like to build that ship. And there's a bit of a graphical glitch here, it seems. But if we go out, there is our creation. Look at that little thing. It's so pretty and small. I'm sure people can build smaller ships than this, but it's so nice. And we can go in and we can see, walk around the interior if we want to. I'm going to show you how you rename your ships too, by the way. I know some of you guys are going to ask because it took me way too long to figure out. So because we only have this little hallway, that means we just have this little entry area. That's our docking hatch. We attach the top on top. And this just takes us straight into the cockpit.
Your ship smells so much better than Dad's. Like,
And there we are. That's all the interior space we made in this tiny, tiny little vessel. Let me show you how you go about actually changing the name of your ship. We're going to jump back into the ship builder. And for some reason, don't ask me why, if you go into flight check in here, when you have this menu open, then you can click rename ship. And then we can go and... There we go. Can't see the cursor for some reason. There we go. Okay, we need to click rename again. Jesus Christ. And then let's call this one for, without caps lock, YouTube demo ship. Wow, it can't have it. So it's just going to be YouTube demo. Rename. We're going to confirm, obviously. There we go. Now the ship has been renamed. We can go out. We can confirm our changes. And now it's called YouTube demo. And we can see the same thing when we go and hover over the ship in here. Whee! There we go, YouTube demo ship. And there we go, with all those engines on this tiny little ship, we can boost extremely fast. We have a cruise speed of 200 meters a second. And if we boost, I think this thing will go up to over 600. There we go, we just passed over 600 there. Fast little ship, fun, with just those two cannons underneath. And nothing else, because that's all we really had room for with the design we made here. Anyway, I really hope that you found this video useful. And as I said, come by Discord. I want to see your guys' creation as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.